If you don't know what the world is, you don't know where you are. People who don't know why the world exists don't know who they are or what the world is. A lesson from the 1st century for people who want to learn and grow. I'm putting this gently on your lap. I do this without any fear that it will totally flip your world upside down. If you understand and accept it, it will bring you health, wealth, success, and happiness. Remember that TNT is a very dangerously powerful material, so be careful with it if you handle it. People who have tried to abuse its power over the years have been killed by it. Because of this, be very careful that it is only used for good. The Bible's teachings, some well-known physical rules, and, last but not least, common sense can all be used to show anything. Take a listen and decide for yourself if the proof I give is strong. Some of you might only see the spiritual side, others might see the science facts, and still others might just see it as a useful tool to help you reach your goals. There are many people who know the truth, and the light will shine so brightly that it will blind you if you open your thoughts. An old friend of mine who knows a lot about X-rays and high-frequency electronics gave me the first piece of strong TNT when I was a boy who liked to play with electricity. It was there for years, even though I didn't know what it was or how to understand it at the time. It makes sense to me now why he wouldn't let me know what it was. He had faith in me and knew I'd accept it when the time was right. I looked for the key for almost 30 years, but the whole time I had something in my pocket that I could have used. But I've got a good handle on it now and will share it freely. Be aware that if you use it correctly, it will clear the way for you to follow your dreams throughout your life. I worked as a reporter for a newspaper for a long time. Behind the scenes, I met great people and talked to famous people. Of course, I looked into them and tried to figure out what made them special and different from everyone else, but I couldn't figure out their secret. Then there was the war, and I didn't understand why other people were making progress while my own goals seemed to be getting stuck. But the war taught me that I can laugh after sleeping in mud and eating bad bread. Remember what I learned, because this is part of my TNT. That old fear got hit in the gut, and it helped me. I think it will help you too. I read hundreds of so-called success books in search of a great way to get rich, but they didn't help me at all. I did the same thing with books on psychology and philosophy, but the big secret was still one step ahead of me. The reason I joined secret social groups was so I could find what I was looking for. The secret, on the other hand, was in every book, everywhere, and right in front of my face, but I didn't look for it. Now I'm going to do my best to give it to you. After the war, I joined an investment banking group that worked all along the coast. Over the years, I had a pretty big dream, as did thousands of other business people, only to find that the castles in the air I was building were built on shaky ground. There was something that shook the world upside down financially and ruined all of my homes in the sky. I was scared. I got lost in the mist. I looked everywhere, and something kept falling on me. As the organization's head, I had more duties than ever before. The international economic changes were putting our business in a tough spot, and many people who didn't understand how bad things were for businesses everywhere were being mean. All of this caused stress and many sleepless nights. I feared going to work because I thought each day would bring more pain. Things got worse and worse over the next few weeks. I had no idea what to do. There were several times when I thought about leaving the business, and at the end of June 1931, I finally changed my mind. When I told one of the women I had worked with for years about it, she looked at me with disapproval. That night, I tried to sleep but failed again. I paced back and forth for hours until 3:30 in the morning, when I stopped and sat down. If I wanted to run away, I could, or I could stay and do my part, even though I knew it would be too much for me. In my mind, I almost said out loud, "Right is right. It always was right." It can't be any other way. I had learned this as a child. Out of the blue, something seemed to happen. What have you been looking for all these years? What have you been learning? Where have you been? Where are you going? The royal secret, I yelled back. I know it. I have it now. It's the secret, that's what they wanted to teach you. It's the royal secret. Something told me that I would find these exact words in a book that someone had given me a long time ago, but I had not been able to understand and had put down. A great man named Albert Pike wrote it. He was a mystic, artist, and scientist. I snatched it off the shelf and quickly turned the pages. I knew what the words meant right away because they were there. I had the key now. I could see a wide, smooth highway and a perfect flood of beautiful, bright light at the end of that highway. That's the road you're on now. Oh, you stupid fool you have been. They tried to teach you and help you, but you shut them out because you thought you were the only one who could understand and follow the road. It was so much fun that I almost passed out from happiness. I no longer had any fears or worries. That made me smile. I knew what was right, and from now on, everything would be fine. I was very sleepy. That day in our office, things were not the same. The heavy black clouds that were above us started to lift. She looked at me with accusatory eyes and smiled as she heard what I had to say. I'll never be able to thank her enough for helping me get back on track. An intelligent person once said that we are all born knowing the difference between right and wrong and being able to do anything. But for some of us, we need to run straight into a stone wall and break ourselves up before we understand what we're doing. The worst and best thing that ever happened to me was when I hit the wall hard. A lot of people who saw the change wanted to know what happened. Here I am telling you because I know I can do well. I told some of my best friends. Our whole organization's mood was at an all-time low. Everyone was down and scared. Because of how things stood, we had to turn around. What I had to do was help the other people because I knew it was the right thing to do. I wasn't sure what to do at first to help them, but I used my own way to talk to their mind. A voice inside me told me to talk to them. Still, I told myself, I can prove I'm right. And for the next few weeks, I spent all of my awake time going over the books I had learned over the years. The Bible came first, then yoga studies, then the philosophy of the great Greek and Roman thinkers, and finally, teachers and students. I thought about Marcus Aurelius's exercises again, as well as La Hudson's law of psychic phenomena and Dr. Hayden Chester's great book, The Spirit World. Once more, I looked through my physics, electricity, and light wave books, and found that not only was I right, but also, strangely enough, the main ideas were the same. There was the same story in all of the psychology books I read again and again. When I quoted parts of the text, things started to move. I've always thought that all the men and women who use this power are, in the words of my old newspaper days, headliners. That is, they make the front page. They get above the everyday when they get rid of the bushel basket they hide their heads under. A lot of people have learned the art of reporting, the science of war, business, being a good leader, politics, the arts, and more. But they are all in the spotlight and are the main attractions. The number is huge. Nero, Julius Caesar, Christopher Columbus, Cleopatra, Balzac, de Maupassant, Sir Isaac Newton, Joan of Arc, Cromwell, Edgar Allan Poe, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, Bismarck, Graham Bell, General Grant, Cecil Rhodes, Winston Churchill, and Henry Ford are just a few of the people who have used this power. I'm sure everyone does. I believe he is the best performer right now. As of a few years ago, he cut his hair short, wore a loincloth, and a pair of big glasses. There are a lot of shots of him dressed in more modern clothes. What I think Gandhi did with this outfit is to get the world's attention on himself and India's cause. But I don't have the right to say for sure. Don't ask me why people with this much power are headlines. You have to figure that out for yourself. Man is truly great when he has an honest goal in life, based on a fair view of himself and everything else, regular self-examination, and following the rule he knows is right, without caring what other people think or say, or whether they do or don't do what he thinks, says, and does. Hero Marcus Aurelius. There are thousands or even millions of people looking for the secret, the key to health, wealth, happiness, satisfaction, and fixing their problems. I'm sure you can find this key too if you follow the advice in this audiobook. What do you need? Where are you going? 1,000,000 watermelons are lined up along the Mississippi. 2 guys were taking naps. One of them yawned, stretched his arms, and exhaled. Man, I wish I had 1,000,000 watermelons. Another man said, Russ, if you had 1,000,000 watermelons, would you give me half of them? No. Would you give me a quarter of them? No, I wouldn't even give you a quarter of them. Russ, if you had 1,000,000 watermelons, wouldn't you even give me 10 of them? No, I wouldn't even give you 10 of them. Well, wouldn't you give me 1 miserable watermelon? Say, Sam, I wouldn't even give you a bite of one if I had 1,000,000 watermelons. Why not, Russ? Because you're too lazy to make a wish for yourself. This story can teach us a lot. Funny people have always been around, so I know some will make fun of me. But funny people never succeed. They never get anywhere in life. I think there isn't a smart person in the world who doesn't want to get ahead. But I often wonder if most of us don't have something bad about us that keeps us from really starting. Someone once said, if you believe it, it is. This could be a vague statement or a summary of what I'm about to say. Many thinkers, Confucius, Muhammad, Jesus, and other great teachers all taught the same big idea. It's in every faith, cult, belief, and sect. There are a lot of sayings that all say the same thing. If you believe it, then it is so. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. A lot of people have said that miracles are no longer possible, but I have never heard a thinker, a student, or a follower say that. There was no such thing as Aladdin and his lamp, so the story must be over. That's also true for the flying carpet, the magic wand, and all the other things from stories and myths. Believe in your beliefs, believe in yourself, believe in the people you know, believe in a force, believe in something that controls everyone's fate. These are the things that I mean by miracles. Nothing in the world can stop you from getting what you want if you believe that and get rid of the bad side. We all tend to think about and weigh things, which makes the bad side stand out. We say things like, this can't work, I'm scared, what will happen if I do it? It's not worth the effort, and other similar things to hide our feelings. These thoughts have been told to you by other people, if you haven't said them yourself yet. You have taken them as your own conclusions because of the power of influence. A huge number of times, this message has been written and sent. It's in the Bible, in the book of the Great Brotherhoods. It showed the 3 wise men the way, and the Crusaders carried it. It's something that every famous person in history has used. Many famous people like Moses, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Shakespeare, Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Wilson, Benjamin Franklin, Edison, and many more, had a hold on this thing. It has been used in history. This was a secret that all elders, medicine men, religious leaders, great teachers, yogis, healers, and wonder workers knew. All of them were people. You can do it too if they knew how to do it. Think, trust only that, and think that a strong Christian can share their faith with others. That's what all great faiths are based on. One believer is all it takes to start something great. It does not matter where the thought came from in the first place. All great ideas come from the plan as a whole. Have faith in yourself and your thoughts. That's why they're super sellers. They know this and use it to their advantage. Faith and the ability to share it is what makes every good thing happen in the world, from neighborhood projects to moves forward. If you really think about it, you'll see that everything in it is true. A lot of people are envious of the person who is ahead. They want to be as rich, powerful, or influential as that person. Have you ever tried to figure it out? They have done all the good things that people have ever done. Everyone can reach their goals if they are shown the right way to do it. If you believe it, you can do it. There's always a way to do something. Believe in yourself and your willpower all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I promise that if you do this, you will move faster than anyone else and pass them by as quickly as high-frequency electrical shocks move through the air. A voice inside me talks. He came to England to find a way to solve India's problems and said, "I am doing this because a voice within me speaks." Gandhi was talking about something that came from inside him. It's your choice to call it a power, a supernatural thing, or anything else you want. Some people call it the subjective awareness, others the mind, still others an instinct, and still others divine messages or gut feelings. It's called a voice from beyond by spiritualists. It works, no matter what it is, and I'll now show you how to get it. How the awareness and subconscious mind are linked. It's easy for the aware mind to connect with the subconscious or emotional mind. People who study the subject know what can be done by getting in touch with their inner mind. Repeating something over and over again can help you make a clear, detailed picture in your mind and get your inner mind to work. Then you have amazing power. There is no doubt that if you decide to do something, you will achieve it. However, most of us have trouble because we avoid making decisions and rarely make it clear what we want or the road we want to take. Keeping our dreams and hopes in front of us all the time would make them come true, pushing away all our fears and doubts, the ifs and buts. Once more, a lot of us think we know what we want, but really don't. It may sound strange, but if we all knew what we wanted, we could get it if we had the determination, persistence, and strength to go after it. There is now a base for your wish, if you have one. Picture the thing or things you want in great detail. People who know how to plant won't have their plants pulled up, and people who know how to hold won't have anything taken from them. Once you have a clear picture in your mind, start saying it over and over. This will let the little voice inside you talk and show you the exact scientific way to get what you want. All the hurdles will turn into ghosts as you move. The idea is to keep the picture or pictures in front of you all the time. Write a word picture of what you want on a few small cards. This will help you see it and keep it in mind all the time. Remember that the more you look at them, the stronger the image will become on your mind, so keep them with you at all times and look at them as often as you can. You could hang a card over the mirror so you can look at it when you shave in the morning. As you think about the picture, let the details of your dreams on the card grow. Get another card ready to look at during lunch or dinner. Stick with it and use the cards again for a short time before going to sleep. Add a reflection to this way to help it work better. Look at yourself in the mirror and get to know yourself by looking deep into your eyes. You will eventually be able to see your wishes reflected in the mirror every time you look at it, and your daydreams will form over time. After you've made the pictures clear, don't let them go for a second. Use steel bands to hold on to them. Using a mirror, practicing every day, and writing down your goals will all help a lot. As time goes on, you won't need cards or mirrors to make the pictures you want. You'll find that you can tap into your subconscious almost naturally. This subject has been around since the beginning of time. Just know that all I'm doing is giving you useful information. What works about prayer? Most of you have probably learned how important it is to pray. Think about it for a moment. It's the prayer, the wish, the steady repetition. As I said before, keep in mind that you are calling on the subconscious mind, which you can call an all-powerful force, a great wisdom, or anything else you want. It's easier to go with the flow than to fight it, but you need to get along with everyone and everything around you. Let your intelligence now work together with the intelligence that runs everything, just like your breath should work with the air around you. The law of making things right. If you think about it for a moment, you'll see that I'm telling you facts that many people may have forgotten. All is right with the world because of the great first law of reimbursement. There are no hard and fast rules for anything because everyone acts differently. It's like two people crossing the river. They use different ways to get where they're going, but they both get there in the end. Things that matter are the results. If you really think about what you want and follow these easy steps, you'll get everything you want. Miracles will happen, and you'll do things you thought were impossible before. It is not a good idea to tell other people about your deepest hopes and dreams. Keep it to yourself, because some people might get in the way of your goals if they know about them. When things get in your way, either climb over them or walk right past them while singing happily. Don't forget that you are the only one who can stop yourself. It's true, I know it, and I believe it. Take a look inside. Inside is a huge mountain of goodness that will always come to the surface. Watch out how you use the power you'll get. If you use it for bad, it will come back to you and destroy everything you care about. So, only use it to bring happiness to yourself and those around you, and to do the most good for yourself and others. Don't tell other people what you've done for them or brag about it. Your good deeds are enough to make people happy. It's enough to keep being thankful that you are on your way. What does personality mean? What is it about being with a person who has personality that makes you feel taken in? What is it about that person that makes you feel like they are hovering over you? This huge storehouse of mental information is accessed by a dynamic force combined with desire. People all over the world have this attitude. Some people say it's just how they are. If that's the case, they probably use this power without realizing it. To put it another way, it just happens. Something moves when personality and motivation work together. Before I try to get a thought across, I have to believe in it. I have to dream about it, eat with it, and sleep with it. For it to become a part of me, I have to carry it with me all the time. It is important that you understand what you are talking about, and that can only be done through careful, in-depth study. Additionally, keep up with what's going on in the world around you. Get up. Keep an eye on what's going on around you. Keep up with what's going on in the world. Someone is more likely to get what they want if they know more about it. Always keep in mind that information is power. Learn, work, and study. He who knows others is wise, but he who knows himself is enlightened. Become more aware of yourself and develop a strong sense of observation. You will then be able to share this with others. If you feel confident and excited, you will make other people feel the same way. Like breeds like, laughter breeds laughter, good deeds breed good deeds, wealth breeds wealth, love breeds love, and so on. Parallel currents going in the same direction are said to attract each other by the old law of attraction, which was put into words in Ampere's theory of electric magnetism. Because parallel currents going in different ways push each other away, when they are out of tune and hostile, they make other people hostile as well. Your every action has a story to tell and shows what kind of person you are. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself questions over and over. You know for sure if you have it or not. If not, make up your mind to get it. You can, and you will. If you work on that energy and desire to move forward, people will soon be able to see it in your eyes. To move forward, you need to be a positive type, and you can change yourself to become one. I'm getting better every day in every way. Remember what you want all the time, and good thoughts will be sent to your brain. If you think of health, wealth, and happiness, you will get all of them. There is no other way for it to be. There are people we all know who talk a lot about back pain, headaches, or other kinds of pain. They almost make you do it. The pain is real because it keeps happening over and over again. There is no need to talk about it if it hurts or makes you feel bad. In the same way, there's no need to talk about your fears and issues. They won't be in your head if you don't talk or think about them. They stay there because they keep hearing it. Turn things around. Get away from the negative side and become an optimistic type. If you think positively, all of your pain, fears and problems will go away. If you are being bothered by something outside of you, it is not that thing itself that is bothering you. It is your judgment about it. You can get rid of this judgment right now. But if something about your personality hurts you, who is to stop you from changing your mind? What should you do if a train speeds past you? Surely you won't reverse the train and go backwards. You'll hit the brakes hard and stop your car. Then you go on your way after the train has gone by. Just hit the brakes if things go wrong around you. Make sure you can see the road ahead before you turn off your car. Your hand is the only thing that can shift your car into backward. When you find yourself going backwards, remember that you were the only one who got there. We are going through a very bad time. People have always needed to be brave and courageous, but there is no reason to give up. So far, people have never known a way to achieve such great things, be so wealthy, and be so happy. Life the way it is now tastes great sometimes. When we are afraid, stupid, angry, mistrustful, or hateful, we ruin a lot for ourselves and for others. This shouldn't go on anymore. We're not as healthy as we could be, and we're not even close to as happy as we could be. One's will, on the other hand, has the power to change everything. H.G. Wells. There is no end to that power, vital energy, or whatever it is. If you only know the key, it's so easy to use. People who are successful are what they've made of themselves, not what other people have made of them. Moving forward or backward is the only way to go. So why not go ahead? You can move forward by changing gears. There is nothing that can be done when fear controls the mind. But once a man gets rid of fear, the world opens up for him. It's not bad to lose a little money, but men become castaways when they lose hope, nerve, and desire. John Roberts. By being clear about what you want and following the steps given, you will find that more doors open for you than you ever thought possible. I'm not interested in predictive statements. I want things to happen. Something will become clear to you, and you'll know exactly how to reach your goal. The aware mind needs to be ready to receive. This is the last thing I want to say. To get ideas from subjective or subconscious thought, you have to make your aware mind open to them. Of course, we all know that the conscious mind is what counts and weighs things. These things are not done by the subconscious mind. It only sends thoughts to the aware mind. It's likely something you've heard before. Trust your gut. But what are these guesses? Where do they come from? They come from the mind's deeper thoughts. The minds of psychologists have to be open to what they have to say. By taking it easy, you calm down. Close your eyes and think. Go into the void. If you keep relaxing, all of your worries will go away. Pay attention to what you want once you've done this. Then there are the gut feelings. Do what the little voice tells you and hold on to them. Don't fight or talk about it. Just do what you're told right away. Follow the directions. The way ahead will become clear, and your worries will slowly melt away. There is something wrong with you that makes you shy or quiet. People shouldn't be blamed for what's going on in the world. Change the gears and get going. Like brings like. You will get a lot of money if you offer a service. There's nothing strange about it. It just is. I am in charge of my own life. I'm in charge of my own life. What a person thinks in his heart, that person is. That's the way things are. I know it and believe it. I have done something, if you remember anything I said. Pay close attention to it again, and then listen to it again a week later. If you follow through on the ideas I've given you, you'll quickly see that they are truths that have been around since the beginning of time. They'll work forever because they always have. You will succeed if you make them a part of your daily life. You will get the golden key to yourself if you believe.